So welcome to the new podcast. I'm here today with Petra from Hitel Financial. What got you started in financial services?
I was really into property from a pretty young age. I did 5 years with the estate agent, and then I went self-employed as a young mum part-time.
What challenges did you have when you got started, and how did you overcome those challenges?
One of the biggest challenges was the transition from being an advisor and a good and devoted one to really to change my identity and become a business owner. And my mission was to be the change in there and create a space for other Hungarians where someone holds their hands all the way through. Our new leaf is the new licence areas, possibly in the future maybe even financial advice, who knows? It's
Not possibly, definitely. So welcome to the new podcast. I'm here today with Petra from Hitel Financial. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Let's get straight into it. So I'm really excited to have you on our podcast today. I want to know first though, what got you started in financial services?
Well, I kind of stumbled upon a bit of an unplanned journey here. So I was really into property from a pretty young age, and I got into estate agency 11 and a half years ago. Well, I wanted estate agency, but I ended up becoming a mortgage advisor for an estate agency. That's the background. And I did 5 years with the estate agent, and then I went self-employed as a young mum part-time.
And now you have your own business,
yes,
which is amazing. So that's a big jump from being just self-employed, working with a estate agent in your case, but now you've actually got your own business. So
That's right.
What made you pivot to want to be a business owner?
This was the unplanned part. I was so busy just doing my self-employed work, helping a few clients and putting all my heart and passion into it. I got so many referrals and recommendations that I just couldn't keep up.
Right.
So I got to a point where I needed to decide whether I'm turning off the tap and only servicing as many clients as I'm able to, or I build something that looks like a business and basically create capacity for more clients to be seen. Well, you can probably gather which one I chose.
And you're really busy, obviously,
Yes.
which is great. And you're focusing mainly on mortgage and protection, so like a traditional brokerage in this case.
That's right, yes. It's about to change, but at the moment, this is what we're doing, yes, mortgage and protection.
So when you started a business, because some of our listeners here will be maybe just getting into the industry for the first time, what challenges did you have when you got started, and how did you overcome those challenges?
I think one of the biggest challenges was the transition from being an advisor and a good and devoted one to really to change my identity and become a business owner, a director of a financial services firm. And that goes with obviously the recruitment side of things, getting an office, building procedures, and all the businessy things that come alongside that.
That's something that you're not taught, right? When you do your CMAP and your qualifications and you here's some leads, here be a broker. And then to do that transition, I mean, what I've found from talking to people on these episodes is that it's quite a big difference.
Yes.
To be a business owner, to be a head of admin, head of marketing. So how did you manage to learn that yourself? How did you do it? What was your approach?
Well, I think it's organic growth, trial and error, as you do. Probably I think taking on my first recruit, which was just my first admin at the time, was the scariest thing. The rest kind of rolled on. First starting to delegate, learning to work with somebody else and picking off tasks that somebody else can do for me and processing that in my mind and sort of allowing myself to let go and still trust that the job will be done just as well as I do it. And also in terms of the advice, I am I was at the time a combined mortgage and protection advisor, and because I just got so many inquiries coming in, I took a big decision that I separated off the protection side.
Interesting. Okay. So with that, I mean, that's something that I've heard people say to me as well about being, not a jack of all trades essentially, and trying to specialize in areas they feel more comfortable in, and then getting people in who can help them write more business essentially. Yeah. So you split off the mortgage and protection part in your business, and do you find that actually led to higher turnover?
Yes. Yeah. I think it allows the advisors to focus on their own specialties and do it a bit better. Like I say, we don't end up in the jack of all trades, although it's not. I know they go hand in hand, and that's how I used to do it, and it's perfectly fine doing it that way. But for us, it works great to separate it off. We've obviously got a sales process built in where it's all tag teaming and it sits very nicely together. But that was difficult to let go because of the revenue. Of
course, because you're now taking, I guess, a lower share of the income yourself personally, but then you're hoping that the quantity of the deals going through means actually you're earning more overall.
Yes.
And that's what you found.
That's what's happened, because we've done it from the start since about, I think the first protection-only advisor came into the business 4 years ago. So we have got a bit of background now, and it's been tried and tested, and we wouldn't go back. And in fact, our mortgage advisors are employed, and the protection advisors are self-employed.
So that's an interesting element, because in this industry, generally speaking, most advisors are self-employed, even when they're working with firms like yourself. So you've actually taken that decision to employ people as well, which is another added pressure for you.
Yes.
But why did you do that then? What was the decision making behind that?
Because I was genuinely that busy with inquiries, and still am. So I have got a very specific niche sort of clientele, and from that demographic, so many people wanted to work with me. Right. Thankfully, it is a true blessing to be held in that sort of esteem with the clients. But that's why I personally had enough leads to share in a firm.
So you say like you got a niche there. So can you explain that a bit further? What was that niche with the sort of clients you're working with?
Yeah, so I am originally from Hungary. I've lived in the UK for 20 years, but because my mother tongue is Hungarian, I wanted to help Hungarian speakers living in the UK on their house buying journey.
Brilliant.
So this was always the sort of the heart reason, the big why. I was 21 when I first bought my house as a young Hungarian in the UK, not having family, not having too many friends explaining the process to me and how it all worked. We did have a broker, and it was lovely, but I didn't really understand what was happening or how we even stumbled upon a house. And my mission was to be the change in there and create a space for other Hungarians where someone holds their hands all the way through and explains the process, and that's what we created.
And you're you've become that go-to person for people from that region. They'll find you now, and you're the number one Hungarian advisor in the UK, aren't you? Yes.
Although it's a very small market, we do dominate that market proudly. Yeah. And Hitel actually means mortgage in Hungarian.
So this is a great point, because actually I didn't know that actually. That's cool. That's news to me. Yeah. And that's cool, because if you're thinking about how people search and find firms these days as well, and we talk about marketing generally, you think the old way of doing it, and people use Google a lot and so on. And you can imagine someone actually writing Hitel into Google, possibly, and you coming up. Yes. And that actually the simple approach works, I think, in my opinion. Yeah. And then you're found even easier, hopefully, from that. So your client experience then is a little bit different to maybe others when you have people who maybe don't talk language with the sort of documents we have are very English legal style documents they're receiving, but you're able to help them with that, overcome that challenge when they're talking to you about the house buying process.
Yes, and it's not necessarily the language side of things. It's more the expectations, the cultural side of things. I just speak their language for all intents and purposes. Yeah. I'm able to identify what their expectations and challenges are, and I'm able to speak to that to help them overcome. So, like, one major difference is the length of the house buying process. So because I understand how it works here, how it works over there, and what their expectations might be, and what challenges that might pose in the house buying process, I feel credible to be able to address that and help them through. So it's things like these mainly why clients find us, not just the language side of things. And
over the years, because your business, how old is your business now?
So we've been in AR for 5 years now.
So you're actually not that long, really.
Yeah.
So, but I guess in that time you've seen a lot of change still in technology and things like that. So,
yes.
What's been the biggest sort of strategy or technological advancement that's helped your business?
Well, technological wise, I think like with many other firms, the use of digital like Zooms and Teams and these platforms had really liberated us in being able to work across the UK with any clients. Also to work with the team, not necessarily in a fixed and fitted office. Otherwise, I must admit, I'm not really techie. I use whatever's available, but I'm not yet into all the AI, etc. No. We are quite traditional, but we do use tech.
Well, that's great, because the community-based model is what you're obviously part of there, and the way you attract your clients is very much community, isn't it? So I'm guessing then your other advisors working with you are from Hungary as well?
Yes, the whole team speaks Hungarian, which is it makes recruitment a nightmare, because they've got to really, in order to be able to continue to share the same values, the same customer service that we would like to deliver to all clients. And you might think that boxes us in a little bit, but it doesn't, because we find that we work with plenty of Brits and everybody else as well. And
I can hear your British accent coming through already,
actually. Yeah. My Sheffield accent. And
I got to be honest, you do speak well.
Thank you.
This is not your native language, obviously. So you do come across well from an English point of view.
Thank you.
But you're building a team, right? So that's a big deal. And you're building an employed team as well as a self-employed arm with the protection of these people. I'm guessing that's had its challenges, right?
Yes.
But what can you impart? Because this is obviously important for people who are looking at building their businesses, and they might be listening to this thinking, what do I do to grow? And they maybe think I've got to take on advisors or admin. And I know you've had a bit of a experience with that. So what would you tell someone? How would you approach it again if you did it again from the start?
Yeah, so recruitment, like I said, it's a bit tricky for me, because they've got to be speaking Hungarian, ideally located in Sheffield, because we work in an office and we like working together as much as we can.
Okay, that's good.
For the it's just a good team culture to share the same office. I think if someone wants to start now and wanted to take people on, I think recruitment is. My mentor once said to me that recruitment is it's a 50-50 hit rate, and I was horrified. I told him that can't be right, because that I don't even want to hear that. Now, I think we're round about there, 50-50, 5 years on, with both advisors and support staff. But it's good. Not everyone sticks with us, but the ones that do, they get to share the values that we operate under, which is this very hand-holdy, going on, taking the clients on this journey, going with them. And it takes a certain type of person to be able to get behind that and replicate that. So currently we're a team of 9. We've got 5 advisors, 1 estate planner, and the rest is admin and business support.
So you've gone to 9 people in your business in 5 years?
Yes.
I think that's incredible, honestly, in this space.
And that's net. So we've had more, and we've had covers and levers. So we're currently at 9. Fantastic little team I have. I'm really, really proud of them, and I really appreciate them as well. So I think
that's a sign of a good leader, right? So when you're leading the team, you've got to show your appreciation. You've got to believe in your staff and the people who work with you. And if they're going to share the values you're talking about, they've got to believe in you, right, as well.
Yes, and I'm quite hands-on, which is definitely counterproductive. In terms of team and recruitment, with me, it's far more about quality than quantity. Mm-hmm. I don't see myself growing a 30, 50, 100 advisor team. That's not what we're all about. Right. My biggest pride and joy in the business is one of my advisors. She's called Anika. She's been with the business for 4 years. She's come from a completely different background, never done mortgages, finance, any kind of sales before. She was actually a secondary school teacher. And seeing her coming in as an admin, senior admin, assistant office manager, then qualified as then we put her through CMAP, and now she's very near senior mortgage advisor, and seeing her through that journey, how she grew and how we nurtured her from the beginning. It's not really
rewarding for you, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And you've created a pathway for people now to follow.
Yes.
So that's really good for future people who join your business. There's a pathway where they can develop within your framework.
Exactly.
Which is a really important point, because I think a lot of advisors that do recruit, it's just like a one stop. There's nowhere else to go on the train. And then that's why they get upset when people leave as well. The partly reason is because that person hasn't got anywhere to develop. Yeah. And therefore they haven't got the need to stay. It's not the case for everybody, obviously, but that's one of the reasons. In terms of the way you set your business up, you're obviously with a network with New Leaf, which is fantastic. So thank you for being one of our key members. But you weren't with us the whole time. And I'm interested, I think some people maybe listening will be thinking, well, I'm with a network now, I might want to switch. And I'm interested to hear from your point of view, like what it was like why you switched to one, first of all. You haven't got to name the old one, it's okay. But why you switched, and also be honest, what was the sort of the pain points of that move as well?
Yeah, okay. So I come from a big corporate network, which was a fantastic home for me. Nothing really bad to say about them. They couldn't get behind me fully on my mission. Which was mainly dominated by the Hungarian-speaking demographic in the UK. So we got to a certain point where we just had to agree to disagree on some points. So that was one of the reasons why I was looking. But also, like I said, I don't want to grow a big firm. What I did want to do, though, is start offering more services to clients and become a bit more specialist. So when we were looking, I wanted to be able to start doing bridging commercial, specialist finance, etc. And that's kind of how I came to. Obviously, I started doing my research, and I came across you guys. And I'm a Christian, and finding out that Mark is a pastor.
Mark, yeah.
Yes, Pastor Mark. It's I'm not saying that was the deal breaker, but I am.
You felt like this could be my home, though.
Yes, yeah, it was. It's definitely positive, because it is. I am a person of high ethics, and I like to be surrounded with like-minded people, and I did feel like just a number at the big corporate network.
Yeah.
And that's how we ended up here, very, very happily.
In the network that knows your name.
Exactly.
You're not just a number.
Yes.
I mean, I think there's a key point there where you say about you wanted the commercial side, the bridging side.
Yes.
And historically, I mean, most places, they allow you to sort of play with that, but they have like a very restricted panel, or you have to go through an expert broker, or you have to go to a packager.
Yeah.
And those models may be okay for some, but it does lead to normally a sort of a client detriment, in that it costs them more money. And also in terms of earnings for you lose income from that as well. So I think that's a big reason why people do come to us, especially on the mortgage side, because that diversification into commercial and bridging is so important to actually earn more income, and especially at today's age where we're worried about the threats of AI and lenders taking our clients directly from us now, and these things are happening, right? It's happening now. Yeah. So you can't do that in commercial space in bridging. This is not possible. So you need a broker to help you with those deals.
Yeah. That's why I am personally really driven to learn as much. I'm already sort of putting the feelers out there, and I'm toying with my first few cases because I've only been with New Leaf 6 months.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's been a great 6 months though, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely cracking 6 months. And day by day, I'm being it's being confirmed that I am in the right place with the right direction. And this is so. I suppose not everyone will be looking for this kind of a growth, but for me, I am quite specific in what I want, and New Leaf does offer exactly what I needed to be able to grow further legs and widen the offering to our clients. And yeah, other than that, fantastic lot of people to work with as well.
Thanks so much for saying that. I mean, if you were looking to give advice to somebody now coming into the industry again, like what's the one thing you would tell them to prepare themselves for before entering this industry?
Well, coming into the industry, I would say look after your clients, look after them properly.
Yeah.
Coming into the industry from setting up a business point of view, I would say my biggest advice would be to take yourself seriously as a business person. It's a difficult transition. And yeah, get the basics right. Things like get your contracts in place, figure out your splits properly, manage the expectations of your team correctly. So it's almost a bit of thinking ahead, like a pretend before you are.
Well, it's like I think a lot of people, especially sort of post-COVID, they saw mortgage advice as maybe an easy side hustle.
Yes.
And actually, in reality, it's not a thing you can do just in the evenings or weekends.
No.
You can't run this
Not
business
properly.
whilst working full time somewhere else. It's not possible. You've got to take it seriously. I think that's the point you're trying to make is, if you're going to be a business owner, especially, you've got to do it with the right thought process.
Yes.
And right preparation is so key. But that's really good advice for sure. We're asking everybody on this podcast. So the tagline is, turning over a new leaf in financial advice. So we're asking everybody on the podcast to share what's the one new leaf that they've put in place in their business they've turned over recently or going forward?
Well, going forward and sort of in the process, like I said, the great decision to come and join New Leaf is to be able to start working in the extra license areas to widen our offering, and we're already in the exciting part of this. There is still recruitment going on, so the business is also growing. But yeah, our new leaf is the new license areas. Possibly in the future, maybe even financial advice. Who knows? It's not
possibly, definitely.
Yeah, well,
no, but that's
no immediate
great.
plans for that. But yeah, definitely. I think it almost comes with the environment I'm finding. Yeah. Not something I've ever considered, but funnily enough, as soon as I started mixing with you guys, it's almost...
Do you find clients now asking about investments suddenly?
Yes. Yeah. And all special. Yeah. We've never advertised, never bought a lead. So, but that's on our...
It's kind of like when you buy a car and then you start seeing it everywhere.
Yes. And the same happens now with our bridging and things. Inquiries are coming in that have never come in before without us asking for it.
Subconsciously, you're now picking up on the vibe from clients and you're reading it more because you know it's available to you.
Yeah.
And that is probably part of it. Finally, for our listeners today who are watching, they want to find out more about your business. Where do they find you?
Yeah, we've got a website, hitelfinancial.co.uk. That's HITEL financial.co.uk. We're also on Facebook, LinkedIn. So yeah, look us up.
Petra, you've been an amazing guest for us on our New Leaf podcast. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.